Hey, what's up guys? Ken from Palm Beach Dyno. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. We're doing all kinds of Mustang stuff for you guys, especially GT500 lately. Been a little bit slow on videos. I've got some big news, all kinds of R&D we did yesterday. Jason from 1320 came down all the way from Connecticut to run at Bradenton Motorsports Park with me, as well as Steve Nestor and Christino from Ohio. We learned quite a bit about transmission tuning, which we'll go over in just a little bit. I also want to let you guys know we've been working on a new handheld device that's going to be coming out real soon. We'll be talking about that in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, we decided to do this rental about a month or so ago. Jason from 1320 put it together. So you know, the idea was let's all get together. All those guys are up north, they can't run. Obviously you see me running all the time right about now, but you know, this fit right into my schedule perfectly. It's a good opportunity to bounce different tuning ideas off similar vehicles, but maybe not exactly the same. And we learned quite a bit, and also kind of proved out our newest tune to make sure it's very repeatable. Jason's running the same tune as I am on my car, and once we go over the results, you guys are really gonna you know, be impressed, I think. Anyway, let's go, you know, show you guys you know, how it started off. The day started off, I got there, unloaded the car, and on the very first pass, a new best by quite a bit, 920 at 155. I mean, you know, I was expecting to do well yesterday, but that was you know, outstanding. You know, I was super excited about that. So we didn't really get a good opportunity to capture the videos that we normally do, so that's why I'm doing it this way. I was able to get some video off different people, and we'll show you those clips and, you know, the best we can. The more important part is I want to go over what we learned about transmission tuning. Big time stuff there. That's where all this new performance is coming from. So let's go ahead and watch that 920 video. Now, where did that come from? Well, you know, the 60-foot wasn't outstanding as compared to how the car has 60-footed in the past, but one key thing to remember is as I've added power, the 60-foot has gotten worse. You know, so I was all the way back in the 1.6s almost on the 60-foot, and, you know, that is why the car really wasn't performing like it should have with the added power. So now with transmission tuning, we're able to get some of that 60-foot back. But one thing we really learned is tire and clutch management, how the tire affects that, what tire is going to be most optimal on these cars moving forward. And that's because we had Jason there with his car, and he was running on the, I think it's the 325 ET Street R, which comes out to be just over 27 inches, and I'm running on the 29-inch 305 tire. So I believe now the 305 tire is probably best for roll racing and, you know, highway pulls and that sort of thing. But for straight on drag racing, I really think the 325 is going to be the ticket, because Jason was in the 1.4 60 foots all day. So let's look at some of his time slips right now. He made a bunch of hits on the 2.4 pulley, and, you know, they were all in the 1.4s, 1.45. Very consistent in the 930s. Amazing. You gotta remember, Jason's car is full weight. He's a big dude, and he doesn't even have headers on that car. So let's watch a couple of his passes now with the 2.4 pulley. Okay, so really the biggest difference and why his car is 60 footing so well is the shorter tire. Now you can say, well, with transmission tuning with the bigger tire, can't I just add more power? That is what I did, and this is the result, and we'll watch that video, clutch problems. So what that shows us is, right now, the 325 for these big power drag cars, that's the way to go, because it's going to be a little bit easier on the clutch, and you're going to get way better consistent 60 foot should be in the 1.4s. So I'm going to be switching to that tire really soon. Now, once we add clutches to these vehicles, that may be a different result. Now, Steve was there with his car, and he has the clutches in his car. We were chasing some other issues, but with the new trans tuning, we were able to get his car, which when we just put the clutches in with no real changes to the tune, it would just pull the motor down real bad. It would 60 foot like in the 1.9 range, like just pull the engine almost to stalling it. And we were able to just with a few changes to the tune, we were able to get it into the 1.5s at least. He was chasing some other issues, so there's more on that car down the road. Anyway, so what did I do? I went back to my 920 tune, just hoping with better shifting and things like that I can improve. So what happened? Well, I ran a 916 and a 914. So let's watch those videos now. Okay, those two runs were very consistent. The car 60 footed in the low 1.5s both times. Now, I think with just a tire change, I'm gonna be in the 1.4s and the car's really gonna fly. Maybe we have a shot at the 8s. The cool thing is you gotta remember, guys, this is a turnkey package that we're putting together here. The CX11 is what we're gonna call it. I'm gonna drop the zeros at the end, the CX1100. It's gonna be called the CX11. This one's the CX11R because it has the carbon brakes and carbon seats. But anyway, this is very repeatable. Now, obviously, different weather conditions and all that, that's gonna be a factor. But we're talking about definitely mid to low 9 seconds repeatable over and over and over again with this package now and what we've learned. All right, so what happened after that 916 and 914 pass? Weather was getting way better. It was going, into the night. The track was going to be great. All those sorts of factors, really set the stage for a killer pass, which, the 914 was. But hey, if the DA is going to drop 600 feet, how much quicker is it going to go? Well, unfortunately, no quicker because we ran into issues. Now, all of a sudden, the car's making a lot more power because the DA is dropping, the air's getting killer. And I couldn't get the clutches to behave. The car wouldn't make the 2-3 shift. Now, is that a tuning problem? I might be able to fix that in tuning, but I think we're just running into just being too hard on these clutches. So we've got a lot to learn there. Anyway, I'm super happy with the 914 pass and, very proud of where we've come with this car in a year. I'm very happy to be able to offer this as a package where you guys can just call up and just get the whole entire thing turnkey, ready to rock. But we still got a lot to go. There's a lot more development on the transmission. There's a lot more to do on engine tuning. This stuff takes a really long time. Now we go back to Jason's car. That is not a CX11, but it's the same tune-up exactly as what's on my car, other than I am running MS109. He's running 1 ethanol in E85 basic fuel. But other than that, you know, the tune is exactly the same, so it's repeatable. Jason's car is much heavier than mine. Jason's car does not have headers, yet he was able to bust off 2 920s with the same pulley I'm running. So, and the big difference there, of course, is his 60 foot is much better because of the tire. So I'll be switching over to that tire, and you know, hopefully we'll get even into the lower 9s or possibly that 8-second pass finally. But I'm not really chasing that. I'm chasing a repeatable package that we could do over and over and over again. And literally I took my tune, put it on Jason's car, and that was the result. So very, very exciting you know, situation there. So actually, let's go ahead and watch Jason's 920 passes, and then we'll talk some more about clutches and what the future holds as far as transmission tuning. So the biggest thing that we learned on this transmission tuning deal is now the clutch becomes a factor. Clutch management, obviously, most likely we're all going to want aftermarket clutches as we, you know, get into this power range and above. But that's the whole new cycle of development. This is a year in the making. Now we have another year probably in clutch tuning and, you know, trying different things in the clutch setup. We have SSP clutches in Steve Nestor's car that we'll be able to tune on, and then we also have Datsun. We have one clutch already done that's going in a car, and we'll probably be doing more. The issue is there's no cores, so you have to take your clutch and send it out. So there's no option to go back to stock if there's any issue. But I'm confident at this time that it's needed because my car, as I turned it up, I couldn't, you know, the clutches couldn't take it. What happens is, you know, when you launch the car, obviously think of like a normal stick shift car. The clutch is going to be slipping some, and you want that. So otherwise, if it doesn't, then it's going to pull the engine right down to a real low RPM like Steve's car that has the aftermarket clutches that aren't tuned properly. So you want a little bit of slip so that the computer is trying to manage how much slip it's going to give you. And if all of a sudden the RPMs just continue to run away and you're not going, it doesn't get to the point of matching the speed, you know, at its target, you know, which we don't really have control over at this point, then it's going to put you into failsafe. So that's what was happening when my car shut down. The RPMs never pulled down to couple, you know, the clutch fully. So at that point, it shuts you down. So what happens when you put the other clutches in? Now you put the other clutches in and they hit too hard and pulls the motor down. So that becomes an issue for tuning. So these are all big challenges we're gonna have moving forward. And it's not as easy as just like, oh, well, we have transmission tuning, remove the torque limits. Now that got us to this point. It got us a nice, you know, you know, about 1/10.5 quicker because of mostly transmission tuning. Now, of course, the weather was good, but you know, and again, if I change the tire, then we'll go even quicker. But as far as an A to B test as for just transmission tuning on the same tire, I'm up about 1/10.5, and so is Jason, roughly. So, you know, that's right now what transmission tuning is worth. But as we add more parts to that recipe, clutches, and now once we add clutches and those work properly and we're hitting it hard, what happens next? We're going to start breaking hard parts. So we need people to make hard parts for inside the transmission. So, you know, this is just an endless development cycle. This takes years to get to, you know, the really final number that you really expect these cars to run. So this early on, I'm extremely happy with the way things are going. Super motivated to keep going with it, and you know, we've got a lot in store for this car. Coming up soon is going to be a Whipple supercharger for it. Next week I race the McLaren 765, which is right now the world's quickest production car, which went 930 at 150, I believe, or 151. So, you know, right now I'm looking good against that, but I got to do it at the same track on the same day. So keep an eye out for that video. We'll be filming that next week, so it'll be, you know, probably about a week from now you'll see that video drop. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, like the video, and we'll see you on the next one.